Now, if men were more valuable in society, why would they be the first ones sacrificed in war?
Because they're not valuable.
Like if men just died right now, could we survive? Yes, of because of the new research that they're doing.
That's the world we live in. The same lies run through our entire culture. Modern women are told they're more valuable because men are disposable. The argument goes like this: men die in wars. Men take the dangerous jobs. See, that proves women are more important. But no, that doesn't prove women are more important. That proves men accepted the burden. It proves men volunteered for sacrifice so others could live safer, more comfortable lives. Look at the numbers. 92% of workplace deaths are men. 92%. That means when a bridge collapses, when a building burns, when a power line snaps in a storm, the lives lost are always mostly men's. And these aren't just statistics. They're the reason society keeps running. It's men down in the coal mines, men in the oil rigs, men driving the trucks that keep food on the shelves, men climbing icy poles at midnight so families can stay warm. Meanwhile, online culture mocks them. Memes, TikToks, and think pieces are all screaming, "We don't need men."
There's a concept called male disposability. We as a culture don't care about the problems that uniquely or disproportionately impact men. Male homelessness, 3/4 of men, male suicide, 80% of men, war deaths, 99.999% of men. We don't care as a culture about anything that impacts men. The best you'll hear is people talking about men's mental health, and it's always followed by so they can be productive and help the culture.
Some even brag about new science making babies without men.
Society need men.
Yes and no.
No.
So why yes and why no for you? And then I'll ask you why you said no.
Well, because in today's society, sometimes you don't need the male to have a baby anymore.
Yeah.
That's why I would say yes and no.
It's not like a moral thing for me.
Yeah.
I'm like we can exist without men only because new research has been discovered of making egg into sperm, so we can reproduce without men. So it's not like a moral thing. It's more of like if men just died right now, could we survive? Yes.
Men keep sacrificing quietly. Cracks are forming. Gallup poll found that 25% of young men said they felt lonely yesterday. And loneliness isn't just about feelings. It's about purpose. For generations, men endured the same sacrifice because society respected them for it. Today, men are told they're disposable, while their labors is still needed to keep everything standing. And here's what happens when men pull back. Dating collapses, marriage collapses, birth rates crash, governments panic. Because when men stop giving, society stops growing. But again, this isn't about saying women bring nothing. Women bring balance, creation, and nurture. But the lies of independence say one side can replace the other. And that's where everything falls apart. Men and women were never meant to compete for value. They were meant to complement each other. Without men's sacrifice, society stalls. Without women's nurture, society crumbles. And only when both are honored does civilization survive. For decades, the legal system in many places created what men call the divorce jackpot. A woman could leave a marriage and walk away with custody, alimony, child support, and often the house. On paper, it was sold as fairness. In reality, it made divorce more of a business model. The result? Divorce rates exploded. Lawyers got rich. Families fell apart. And the children? They were the ones left paying the price. But here's the uncomfortable truth. That system wasn't built on women's independence. It was built on men's resources. Independence isn't independence if it works by taking from the very men you say you don't need. Now things are changing. More states are moving towards 50-50 custody. Courts are recognizing that children need fathers as much as they need mothers. The jackpot is shrinking. And suddenly, the women who says they don't need a man are realizing the truth. Without male resources, that safety net disappears. And the data is devastating when fathers are absent. Children in single mother homes are 5 times likely to commit suicide, 9 times more likely to drop out of school, 10 times more likely to abuse drugs or alcohol, 20 times more likely to end up in prison, and 32 times more likely to run away from home. Compare that to single father homes, where outcomes are consistently better across the board. That alone shatters the myth that women are automatically better parents. The reality is fathers bring something mothers can't replace: structure, discipline, and stability. However, for a total balance, mothers bring something that fathers can't replace either: nurture, emotional connection, the ability to anchor a child in love. Kids don't just need one or the other. They need both. That's the lesson here. It's not about men being better or women being weaker. It's about balance. Children thrive when they have a mother and a father. Civilization thrives when both sides do their part. So when modern women say, "Oh, I don't need a man," the data proves otherwise. And when men are pushed out of the home, society pays the cost, not just in broken families, but in broken futures. Because the truth is simple: fathers and mothers together are the foundation of every strong generation. And when you take men out of the equation, everyone loses. Let me give you a quick example of how backwards things can get. A woman went viral online complaining that veterans don't deserve discounts at restaurants. Her words: "They already live off taxpayer money. Why should they get benefits for life?" Now think about that. Men and women who put their lives on the line, who came home with PTSD, scars, or missing limbs, and she's upset because they saved a couple of dollars on lunch? What she missed was that those discounts aren't government handouts. They're voluntary acts of respect from businesses. Nobody forces them. It's gratitude for sacrifice. And that's the pattern we keep seeing. When men sacrifice, too often the response isn't respect, it's resentment. Instead of saying, "Thank you," it becomes, "What about me?" But here's the key. This isn't about attacking women. Women sacrifice too. In childbirth, in nurturing, in ways men can't. The point is that sacrifice should be honored, not mocked. Men build, protect, risk their lives. Women, they create, they sustain, and they bring life into the world. Both are priceless. When entitlement replaces gratitude, the partnership breaks down. And without that partnership, families fracture, communities weaken, and society itself starts to collapse. The truth isn't that one gender needs the other more. The truth is we need each other, but only when both sides are respected for what they bring.
If women are drafted to the military, I am most excited to see the confrontation between commanding officers and the girls. Think we're going to let you yell at us? You think we're going to do something without a please and thank you? Like, let's sit down and have a conversation about what you want and what I want, and we'll reach a happy medium. Because there's no way I'm doing what you want when you use that tone with me. You think you can push us around like you do with these men? Think again, baby.
Think about the military clip you just saw. A woman openly admitting that she wouldn't follow her commanding officer if his tone reminded her of her controlling ex-boyfriend. Not on a date, not on a casual conversation, in a war zone with lives on the line. Imagine bullets flying and chaos everywhere, and her first thought isn't survival or duty, but her feelings. That's the difference. Because men don't get to say, "Oh, sorry, I can't do this mission because your tone hurt me." Men don't get that choice. They obey, they endure, they sacrifice. And history has always proven it. When the Titanic sank in 1912, survival wasn't random. About 80% of women and children lived, while nearly 80% of men died. Why? Because men gave up their seats. Men froze in the Atlantic so others could live. That wasn't biology. That was choice. That was sacrifice. And if you think that's just history, look at modern examples. Remember the experiment where women tried to live on their own island? They called it independence. But the cabin, the plumbing, the electrical work, all built by men. And once the men left, everything started to fall apart. Fires went out, water system broke, and eventually they had to call men back just to keep things running. That's the pattern. When everything works, it's easy to say, we don't need men. But the moment things break down, whether it's a government shutdown or a ship sinking or a fantasy island collapsing, survival depends on male sacrifice. And here's the irony. The very sacrifice that keeps everything running is the same thing women point to when they say men are disposable. But being tagged as disposable doesn't mean they're unnecessary. It means men have been willing to die first so others could live. That's where the hard truth begins. So here it is, the hard truth. No matter how many TikToks gets posted, no matter how many slogans get chanted, no matter how loud independence is shouted, women still need men. The facts don't lie. When disaster strikes, it's men who die first. On the Titanic, nearly 80% of women lived. Nearly 80% of men died. At work, it's men who pay the price. 92% of workplace death are men. In families, kids raised without fathers face staggering risks. Suicide, addiction, dropout, prison. Even in utopia like women-only islands, survival collapsed the second male labor disappeared. Women say they don't need men, but every layer of society, protection, infrastructure, family.
Now, if men were more valuable in society, why would they be the first ones sacrificed in war?
Because they're not valuable.
Be a competition. Men and women were designed to need each other. It's not about one being more valuable. It's about balance. Think about life itself. To create a child, you need both. The man brings a seed carrying half the code, strength, drive, protection. The woman, she brings the egg, the womb, the ability to nurture life into existence. Neither can do it alone. Every single human being walking the earth is proof that men and women only move forward together. Biology itself tells the story. Independence is an illusion. Partnership is the truth. So, yes, modern women are learning the hard way that they still need men. But the bigger truth is this: men need women too. Because without women's nurture, love, and balance, men lose their center. Without men's sacrifice, labor, protection, women lose their foundation. When one side tries to erase the other, society cracks. That's the part feminism, culture, and social media don't want to admit. Reality doesn't bend for ideology. Feelings don't stop facts. At the end of the day, men and women rise together, or we fall apart. And that's the undeniable truth. So let me know what you're thinking. What are your thoughts? Let me hear your opinions. It's been your girl, Rene here. I'll see you guys in my next video.